She's the 9th and 10th President and Chairman of Governing Council, NITAD. She's a doctoral fellow of Chartered Institute of Human Resource Management. She has been practicing L&D as a consultant for the past 34 years. She's a retired director of training, Industrial Training Fund, ITF. She's also a fellow of NITAD. She's a member of Association of Talent Developers. She's also member of Learning and Development Network International. Distinguished professionals, join me tonight as I welcome our facilitator for tonight, Mrs. Abike Igbiye. Welcome, ma. Over to you, ma. I hope I got your name this time around.
Oh, how many times did I tell you? How many
Sorry,
times?
ma. I will pay fine. Sorry, ma.
You have to pay fine. You have to pay fine. Good evening, distinguished professionals. I'm glad to be here this evening. And I'm not only glad, I'm delighted. If there's any other word to use to qualify that, I'm so happy that we have so many people. We are still counting. We are now 140. For people to yearn for knowledge is a good thing. And when you yearn for knowledge, there's no end to it. That's why we abandoned everything, abandoned in quote, everything to be on this session. I'm so glad that we are here, and it's knowledge sharing, and we will enjoy the ride. So before I proceed, I've been introduced. I want to add that in adult class, all answers are correct. Be free to say anything. 2, in adult class, there's no nonsense question, no nonsense answer. You are all correct. Okay? But what we do in training is that, as we say, that all questions or answers are correct, but one is the real answer, while some are just the answer. So we are not going into grammar this evening. So let's really see what we are going to talk about so that we can finish on time. If you have any question, please put in the chat box. If not, keep till tomorrow morning. If you feel, oh, this question may take us off course, and I don't want us to go beyond whatever, maybe 1 hour or 1.5 hours. So I hope everybody's hearing me loud and clear. If you are, just give me a thumbs up. Don't unmute, because when you unmute, you're going to disrupt. If you got me, just put a thumbs up for the session. So join me as we move on to our presentation this evening, and you will see what we have for you. So let's see. You will see my screen, but I'm going to share I'm going to share my presentation now. Okay, I'm going to share my presentation, and you'll see that. So if you can see my slide, my presentation, just give me a thumbs up, and that is it opening. That's it opening. So you can see my presentation. Just give me a thumbs up. Don't unmute. Do not unmute, because, oh, lovely. To Anne Marie or Nina Marie, Arowo Shola, Teniola, thank you so much. I will schedule Obiora Chineye. I can see that you are all here. Happy to have you in our midst. Would you wonder why we decided to have a pre-induction session? You see, we want to separate the boys from the men. You cannot have a doctoral fellow and we will not expect you to have something extra. Not just Jara, but something that you go away with, something that will be value addition to whatever that you know. So 176 of us here, 175. So let's move on. Don't forget, put your question in the chat box. We will answer some, or some will be attended to tomorrow. So what is our topic this evening? Developing executive presence in the workplace. developing executive presence in the workplace. I know you can hear me. If you can, give me a double thumbs up. Give me a double thumbs up if you can hear me. So double thumbs up for hearing. I heard some people have already given me one thumbs up, seeing my, yeah. Okay then, Okpayemi, Opsi, thank you. Amosu, Ogbebo, Nina Marie, thank you. That's fine. That's good. If you cannot hear me, then something is wrong with your audio on your side. So what do we want to talk about? Developing executive presence. What's executive presence in the first place? Why are we talking about executive presence? You cannot have a fellow, you cannot be a fellow, you cannot have a doctoral degree, doctoral fellow, okay, and not have that executive presence. People will look up to you that, this person must have it. So that is why we want to give you this value addition to whatever you know. I've been introduced as the slide. I'm not going to talk about that, but what I want to leave you for you with this slide is that may your doors be open. As I was able to shake the immediate past vice president. I've not washed the hands since then. So I threw the anointing. Catch it. So your doors will be open to get to those people that will make you the person you want to be, okay, by God's grace. So let's quickly move on. Let's unpack the agenda. And that is what we are going to talk about. First, we're going to talk about what is executive presence. Two, we're going to know thyself. Because if you don't know yourself, how would you be able to have that executive presence? Because there are some gaps that we need to fill before we get to that executive presence. There's what we call the Johari window. What is the Johari window you get to see? Johari is the name of, is an abbreviation of two industrial psychologists, Joseph and Harry. Okay, so they picked that to do the Johari window, and you will see how it will help us to understand ourselves or yourself. So what are the key steps to developing executive presence? Three, what are more? Not three now. Well, what are the pillars of executive presence? What are those things I need to work on? What are the traits of executive presence? Then benefits of executive presence. Some of them will roll into one another. So how do I create that personal presence before I get to the executive presence? Then how do I create the environment and connect with people? Because your network is your net worth. And it is said that you don't need more than 4 steps or 4 people before you get to that destiny helper or whoever you want to get to. Okay, so you need to develop and connect with your network. 4 steps. Then people management. How do I manage people? We're going to do more of that tomorrow morning at the physical induction. Then leave this place tonight with a new mindset. And the new mindset will be, do you want to change? What are the actions that we need to? We'll discuss if there's time, and that will come in the course of our discussion, in the course of this session. The discussion is just to ask questions and we rub minds. So I love this slide. Why do I love this slide? This slide is the slide that it tells you that you can't get things done on your own, no matter what you do. So it's a simple truth about life. You are paid to produce results. Yes. Whether you are self-employed or you're in public service or you're in private sector, public sector, private sector, you need to produce what? Results. Even if you're an entrepreneur, results. So, but what you need to know is that it is your people that produce the results, not you. You'll be there, not micromanaging them, but be able to do what? Guide them, mentor them, coach them to be able to produce the result. So what do you need to do as an executive? Someone that is going to tomorrow be inducted as a fellow of this institute, someone that tomorrow be inducted as a doctoral fellow of the institute. What do you do? Focus your energy. Focus your energy on helping your people to do what? To be successful. Because when they are successful, they say, oh, there goes a good leader. There goes a good, maybe boss or leader or whatever you want to call the person. And when the chips are down, it is you that will get the accolade or you get the other side of it. but it is your people that are backing you, that are assisting you, that are supporting you. And that is why we need to understand the individual, not only you, but understand those who are working with you, not for you, but with you. So what do we need to know? Human behavior should be courteous, effective, and positive. Positivity is part of what we should go out with tonight. Okay? You should be positive in your understanding of people. Don't have that what you call in psychology self-fulfilling prophecy, that somebody has been introduced to you that person is bad, and your opinion of the person is that the person is bad. Bad you are, and bad you will remain. To you, that person is bad. You will not even give the person the opportunity to prove you right or wrong, because it's some situations or circumstances or environment that make people to behave the way they. By the time that person moves over to your side, it may be better than what you were told about him. So let's move on. So what do you need to do? People will say, oh, Mrs. Igbe is nice. I'll use myself as example, but don't think that I'm like that, because I'm going to get a place that I'll talk something, and don't think I'm like that. If you have something, my destiny helper may be in this class. So some people say, Mrs. Igbe is good, she's this, she's that. But somewhere somebody say, that woman, she can do like this and whatever. So that is the human nature. That is the individual differences that we have. The human behavior or differences is like two sides of a coin, the head or the tail. I could show you the good side, I could show you the bad side. So what do you do? So the degree of pleasure or displeasure that you get from me depends on what you encounter with me, or I encounter with you. So we need to do what? Look in and show what are those hidden traits that are inherent with me, that people do not know that I have. So that is how you understand the individual. Don't write anybody off. Remember, you cannot get the results done by yourself. So this is question time. I put in question and I want you to just put the answer in the chat box. On the left-hand side in the blue box is Homo sapien. You will tell me how many faces that you have there. Then on the right-hand side, people are what, like irregular figure, the hidden traits. What is that irregular figure that you are looking at now? Your time starts now. So let's see how many of us can get it. What is that irregular figure that you can see there? Let's see how many have we started? Yes, two faces, correct. That person, Deborah, that's two faces, Idibia. Very good. Deborah got it first. Amoeba, correct. Two faces, Idibia. Amoeba, you are correct. Okay, Amoeba, you're correct. Two-face Idibia, somebody, no, two-face Idibia, all answers are correct. Okay, all answers are correct. Okay, two-face amoeba. So don't type amoeba again. Concentrate on the left-hand side. How many faces do you have there? Two faces, correct. I said don't type amoeba again. Amoeba, we got that. Two faces. Concentrate on the faces. How many faces? Okay, it seems as if people can only see two-face Idibia. So your time has stopped. Now the clock has stopped ticking. Bam. Now, don't type again. There are four faces in there. The two faces that we are seeing, the white one, the black one. But you know, human nature, our nature, we evolve. There are four faces there. Under the white face, you can see my cursor, see the nose, just evolving into the white face. That is three. Then on the black face, see the nose that is evolving into the black face. Four faces. And this is perception. Whatever you think that person is, give the person a chance. Let him prove himself or herself right, that I'm worthy to be worked with. I'm worthy to be associated with. You can be part of my network. You can be my counselor. You can be my coach. You can be my mentor. So there are four faces in there. So thank you for those who saw two-face Idibia. Everybody saw two. Somebody saw three-face. That's Surface Pro. Surface Pro 4. We don't know your name, but no trouble. So four faces, you will get that. You will see that that is what life is all about. So what is executive presence? Presence is hard to define, but you know it when we say it. Somebody walks into the room. I'm sure those who are in my generation, or anyway, I'm still young, don't think I'm old. I'm still young. Those who remember that advert, Joy Girl, that everywhere she went, heads were turning and people were looking. That could be part of it. Your presence, you as that individual, is more than that. But when you step into a room, people just look because your dressing, your physical appearance is part of your presence. Okay? That is the part of the X factor, additional to what is in here. Okay? So people step aside and you come in and say, oh, come. Oh, join us. Hasn't it happened to you before? And you found yourself, why are they calling me? So don't be shaken. Don't be afraid. By the time we're done with this session this night, you will see that one or two things you will go away with, and you have that confidence to be able to stand when they say, join us, come over. So conversation opens up to include them. And this is what those of us that attended a whole school, not A is for Apple. In those days, they used to tell us when we were in the primary school, they would say we will have impromptu debate. They say, Ayade, it's your turn. Start shaking. Yeah? What do you want me to say? To nothing. That's how they try to get us to be prepared in whatever we do. So conversation open up to you. And they say the lot now falls on you to talk. Would you say, you see, actually, I used to have one of my associates in those days. Anytime you tell him, he will start whatever he say, actually. I say, what is actually? Say what you want to say. So as doctoral fellow and fellow, just be ready, be prepared like the scout. So they're in charge of themselves, and in any situation, they stand tall and talk well. So what is it? What is executive presence? Why do you need it? How do I get it? It's not that because I'm tall, I'm short, I'm big, and whatever. But no, it is what you have to offer. What are those things that you have to offer that people will know that you know what you're talking about? And there are three things involved. Initially, first is the ability to act decisively. Act. Two, with dignity of a quintessential leadership. Leadership, dignity, and elements of leadership. Act, dignity, and elements of quintessential leadership. Leadership that stands out. They don't have to tell people that you are the leader because you have something up there to offer. So those with executive presence work well under pressure. That is the essence of a leader. Act well, work well under pressure. They communicate well. Clearly, that is one of the hallmark of a leader. They're confident and they have the capable persona that anywhere you find them, they will not be found wanting. So presence is not something you are born with. It's something that we learn. You know, it's like when I was young, in those days, they would say you should not write with your left. So they drummed it into our head and beat the left hand away from us. And we started using the right hand. Some of us have forgotten that we can even use the left. So, like those skills that you can build as you grow on in life, and those ones habits that you feel are not adding value to your life, we drop them. So presence is something that we can learn. It's a skill, it's a habit, and attributes and traits that we can pick on. This is going to add value to my life. What do I need to do? You pick on. Thank God we are now 2000, I say 2000, 203 on the beat. So it's a question, it's not a question of status symbol or position, because we have seen situation where an associate goes out with the leader or team lead, or let's use boss loosely now, and it is the associate that people are talking about, because there are some of us will say, oh, he's my associate. Let me give you a practical example. When I was in service, there was this our driver. He loved to drive well, and he has the physique. So one day he went out with one of the ogas, and what happened? He carried the files and everything because the oga was just so he walked straight ahead of the oga because the oga was still doing big man. So by the time he got to the door, two of them, he had to wait for the oga to get there. So they the security man was telling, personnel was asking him, oh, please come in, Oga, come in. Okay, what do you? So the driver said he was shaking. That's my Oga. Why? Because your guy just took it for granted that they will attend to him or whatever. So in whatever we do, our composure, whatever we wear, our dressing and mannerism are part of the executive presence that we need to add to whatever we are doing. So what do we want to learn? What are the other terms for executive presence? The X factor. What's the X factor? The X factor is the extra factor, the extra that will make people to listen when you talk. And when you are seated, the ovation is still going on. That yes, something wonderful came out from that person. So it's also confidence, authenticity, voice, and influence. As a leader, you should be someone of influence. Your voice should be that. No matter your height or physique or whatever, when you talk, people should listen. So a good synonym might be personal presence, or better still, leadership presence. So executive presence now has the personal presence, then the leadership presence. So let me quickly explain this, that the personal presence is the foundation of executive presence. When you move from personal presence, you go into leadership presence, then from there you go into the executive presence, because it's not everybody that has the leadership presence is in the C-suite. And because you have the personal presence doesn't mean that you are a leader. So look at it. What are the other terms? Confidence, X factor, and all. So look at it that the basic concept is your demeanor, your action that will leave impression in the heart of people. We're going to get to that later, because the first impression is a lasting impression. That is this person worth being followed? Is he a true leader? So most importantly, executive presence is a skill that you need to cultivate and build as we move on in life. Know thyself. If you don't know yourself, then you make somebody else to dictate who they want you to be. So that is why it is said that the illiterates of the 21st century are not those who cannot read or write or do whatever, but they are those ones who are not willing to take action to improve their lives. Thank God we are not illiterate of the 21st century, because we are here. We've decided to join this institute in order to do what? Improve our life, understand some things that we feel we need to work on. That is part of our leadership style, and identify our emotional state. We're going to talk about emotional intelligence later, maybe today or tomorrow, but you need to manage your emotions. I came across emotional intelligence, I think, in the early 2000, I think whether 2003 or 2. And since that time, I've been reading more, improving myself, and now I know much about myself that I wouldn't let anybody get me on the wrong side of it. I'll give you an example of how to manage your emotions. I'll still mention another one. This one happened today because I learned from every situation. I went to the market somewhere in Agege, and there are no parking spaces all over. So, but there are some people, some of those boys, they are rice boys, they know where to park you, and you give them 500 naira when you are done. They watch over your car, but you don't leave your keys with them. So I went, did all my shopping, and I came back. I got to my car, I just sat down, decided to remove the pedal lock and all those things, old school. By the time I finished, I turned. So I just handed over the 500. They said, mommy, wait. I said, what is it? He said, police people came and removed the plate numbers of people. I said, I didn't notice. They said we're able to collect one from them. But meanwhile, I had already handed over my 500 naira. If some other people, you say, why? They said, can you wait about that 30 minutes or so? I said, this your 30 minutes can go to 1 hour. I said, what do you want me to do? They said, you can come back later or come back tomorrow. I said, no, I will not come back tomorrow. I will not come back later, because I know that I'm going to give this session. If I'd waited with the rains and everything, I might not be able to make it back home. So I said, give me your number. Gave me his number. Some other people will get agitated. That's the story of one man. He was in his Prado. He finished failing in this scarcity, petrol scarcity and all. So before he moved, one downfall just came, blocked him. Bam. That's emotional intelligence. Blocked him. Bam. And he came down and said, would you move your nonsense vehicle in front of me? As he was talking to the driver, the conductor came, big chest, and said, that is my guy you are talking to. The man in Prado controlled his emotion, managed his emotion. He said, next time you do this, I know what to do to you. He just entered his Prado in his suit and tie, and he moved. If he reversed and took another way out, if he had not managed his emotion, a pig that is already dirty is not afraid of falling inside the mud anymore. So he just went away. So in any situation, once you consider yourself that a fellow of this institute, a doctoral fellow, and you have the executive presence, you will manage your emotion. So let's move on. How do I learn to understand myself? When you learn to understand yourself is the first step to understanding others. Say, me in my suit, I don't want anybody to do this. So you have understood yourself that I will not mess myself up. So that means you have understood the other person, that person, he who's on the floor, fears no fall. So you moved on. So once you understand yourself, you will not let anybody use their own emotion to spoil yours. So you now ask yourself some important questions. What kind of leader am I? Am I the one that helps people to solve problems? Am I a leader who helps others to get along? Does the bulk stop on my table? When people come to me sad, they leave happier than they came in. How do others see me? What are my goals and purposes and whatever expectation that you have in the workplace, especially when you're working in teams? Because we're going to talk about team management tomorrow. Now, let's quickly know yourself so that others will not manage you for yourself. So let's quickly look at the Joe-Harry window. The Joe-Harry window, as I said, two industrial psychologists, Joseph and Harry, they came together and formed this. So the Joe-Harry window has 4 areas. But before we go into the 4 areas, you see on the right-hand side, the bigger 4 areas, you see self. Then on the left-hand side, you see others. So that means know yourself so that others will know you, and you will also know what others think about you. So under the self and others, or in front or wherever, you see known and unknown. So we're not dealing with the 4 areas. First area is open free area. The second area is the blind area. The third area is the hidden area. Then the fourth area is the unknown area. So let's see how I know myself and what I don't know about myself, but others know. So let's break it down and see what it is. And I'll give you examples and you'll be able to understand whether you understand or you know yourself. The first one, which is known. I know something about myself. People know that about me. I've been introduced as the 9th and 10th, which is the current council of NITAD. Okay. What else? This is free area, public, nothing to hide. And you were told that a retired director of industrial training fund. What else? Nothing hidden. I know that about myself. You know that about me. So if you want to say, I know one Mrs. Igwe, oh, she was formerly this, I say, They will say, yes, we know. She was this, oh, yes, known. Then the other part, unknown to me, but known to others. So if you read it, blind self, blind area, blind spot, what is known about a person by others in a group, but unknown to the person himself. Okay, let me give you an example. when let's look at unknown to me. One of my network told me something some years back, I think about 6 years ago or 7. He just said, Mrs. Igbeyi, do you know that you're a calculated risk taker? Huh? I didn't know that about myself until you mentioned it. But now I know. As at that time, I didn't know. Unknown to me. He said, a calculated risk taker that is studying me. I said, honestly, I didn't know that about myself. Since that day, I took cognizance of what that my network said. That is unknown to me, but others could see that I don't jump into things without seeing what will come out, what will be the end result. Then the third area, known to me, but unknown to others. That is the hidden self. That is what is known to ourselves, but kept hidden from people. And this is the area that most people talk about. Known to me. Let me give you an example. Imagine that you say, I'm Mrs. Igbe, I'm not like that too. I told you before, I'll give example, but that. This is the place. Known to me, I know that I love money. I'm sure there's nobody that does not like money. They say, because they say the love of money is the root of all. I like money. Let me not say love. I like money. It's known to me. But people trust me so well that they say, let's give her a position. She will not touch our money. But me, I know that I can make do with something. I will return it later. But somewhere along the line, I couldn't return it. So it was now later discovered that people now say, Mrs. Igbe, we trusted you so well. But I know that inside of me, I needed that money at that time, and I used it. I didn't steal it, I used it. So known to me that I can touch public money, but people have trust that I will not touch it. That is known to me, but unknown to others. So it's part of what gives us the wrong impression, a wrong judgment of people. Oh, that person looks comfortable, not touch our money, but those are the people that want to use your money to do fine boy or fine girl. So the fourth one, which is unknown to me and unknown to others. Let's assume that all of us are gathered in a hall or somewhere, God forbid, bad thing, and there is an outbreak of fire. And there is a perimeter fence of about 6 feet. So as people were doing kitty all over the place, before you say Jack Robinson, Mrs. Igbe is over the fence and out on the other side at a safe place. By the time others found their way out, they said, yeah, what are you doing here? We didn't know that you could do Ben Johnson or do Chioma Ajunwa. I said, it's a matter of survival. That's why I took off. So people did not know that I could do it. I did not know that I could jump the fence. But life. So unknown to them and unknown to me. So that is the way in which when you find yourself in the C-suite, or you have the executive president, or you're a fellow or doctoral fellow, when you now bring down human activities, yourself and others, you will see that, did I make the wrong judgment? Because part of it is what act decisively with quintessential element of a leader. What do you do as a leader? Do you make the wrong decision, or what do you do? So that is why we are going to study, we're going to talk about leadership. Leadership, that topic can never, ever go out of fashion. It will always be there, because they will always have leaders, we always have followers. So when you find yourself as a leader, why is this topic so hot? Because some people have said that all leaders are bad. Okay, and that is why some people have come to the conclusion that good leaders today appear to be endangered species. Are we endangered? No. We can pick some skills, we can drop some bad habits, and we'll be able to be the good leader that people want us to be. So this is basically what you do as a leader: the how to, the why to, and the what to. It's the ability that will be part of those hallmark of a leader that will make you to manage the corporate suite. That's the C-suite. It will make you to manage the corporate suite. And in this situation, I will not only limit it to how to, why to, and what to. I will take us to the 6 W and H that we were taught when we were in the primary school. So you want to give me the 6 W's and H. Let's see. Your time starts now. Let's see if you can give me the 6 W's and H. The 6 W and H. Okay. The 6 W's and H. Are you there? Let's see. How many? How many? Uh-oh. Nobody. Uh-oh. No, if you can't hear me, there's a problem with your... You get the soft copy of this later. Michael Jadon. Yes, why who? Yes, fantastic. Chioma Azomta. Yes, yes, yes. Why, when, who? Why, what, who, when? Yes. More, where? Yes, we got 5. Yes. Which? Fantastic. Who is this? Lydia. Lydia, thank you. I think she's got the 6. Lydia, thank you. And how? Fantastic. We got it. That's all. Thank you. Your time has stopped. The clock has stopped ticking. Thank you. Thank you. Gospel, you right. Anthony Sunday, very well. Obiageli, very good. Thank you, precious. Now, the 6 W's, you need that. Those 6 W's and H to be that good leader of thought that people want you to see you perform or make decision in the workplace. So as a leader, this has ever been a controversial issue since time immemorial. Some people say leaders are born, some say they are made. We are not going to that conversation. But think back, when a baby is born, unless you are a stargazer or you have the crystal ball, and you say, welcome to the world, a leader. In the delivery room, you cannot decide, even if the person is of the royal blood. That doesn't mean the person will be a leader. Okay, so not everyone is born a leader, but everyone can develop the leadership skill, and you can benefit from using them because you have the followership that you have. You will not believe it yourself. So if you want to become a successful leader, develop that executive presence. It is essential for your leadership skill. So these are different leaders. They've passed, and you can learn a thing or two from them. In there, I have my great-grand-uncle, Nelson Mandela. I have my uncle, my grand-uncle. I have a dream. Okay? So, then Mother Teresa, Thatcher, and all of them, Abraham Lincoln, so many. What can we learn from them? Because they're dead and gone doesn't mean that good leaders are now endangered species. There's still many good leaders out there. So what do we need to do to be able to manage the C-suite? If your action inspires others to dream more, learn more, do more, become more, you are a leader. Look behind you and see those who are following you. Are you that leader of thought? So that is part, leadership is part of that quintessential element of someone that wants to develop executive presence. So remember, we said personal presence, leadership presence, then executive presence up there. So what are those behaviors that define strong, not weak one, executive presence? Emotional intelligence. Okay, emotional intelligence, we also talk about your social and private activities. How do you manage that? Public speaking is also strong executive presence. You cannot say you are aspiring to get to the C-suite and they give you, I say, Mrs. Igbe, can you give us a thank you note after whatever, or can you give us a welcome note? And they didn't tell you before. So what do you do? And the lot falls on you. You now say, actually, you now tell someone, can you do it for me? No. With a fellow and a thorough fellow, be prepared when the lot falls on you. I'll give you an example. When sometimes last year, we went to Channel Sterling because Dr. John Momo He's also a fellow of the Institute. So we went to pay him a courtesy visit. When we got there, we talked and we were very glad and all those things. As we were about to go, he said, "No, madam, oh, I'm sorry. We didn't tell you that you will face the camera. We'll go to the studio. I hope you don't mind." I said, "Of course not. But yours sincerely." I just look, I didn't swear to. I just said, "What would they ask me? Well, if they ask me something, I'll find a way of detouring the conversation to something that I know." And that was what happened. They didn't tell me anything. They didn't give me a script. They didn't tell me anything. They were just asking questions. But I know that at the end of it all, they will edit the one they want and just. So when you are going for public speaking, some of us have this issue, usually public speaking and communication to connect. When we have this issue and there's this butterfly flying in our stomach, what do? You shouldn't show it. You shouldn't be jittery. You shouldn't fret. What do? When in the course of my journey in L&D, we went for a program and I asked the question because that question kept coming in when we go for train the trainer and whatever. And people will not say, "Madam, I know what to say, but inside of me, that butterfly, I just want to." Some people say, "Keep a glass of water." Immediately you keep a glass of water, people will know that you are nervous. So what I was told then was, take a deep breath, no trouble. Everybody knows that you can do that. What do you do inside of you? That person that advised me said, think about a greatest moment or a beautiful moment in your past that you can remember and that brings smile or joy or happiness, whatever you want to call it, to you. So imagine yourself in that moment of happiness and bring that happiness from within and start talking. And you will see that you'll be able to connect. And even yourself, you'll not believe that I said all those things. Honestly, I don't know that I did without looking at any paper. Okay? So what you should practice. Some people say stand in front of the mirror and practice and practice. You may get there. The situation will change. The context will change. And what do? So what you do, practice. Remove the butterfly, kill the butterfly. Take yourself to the past. Remember those, is it on the day of your graduation, the day your wife delivered, the day you had your first baby, the day something good, and you bring that happiness to bear on your presentation, on your public speaking. You know, there's some people that they even give you the speech. They don't even know how to read it because when they see the sea of heads, they shake. They spoil beautiful speech reaching for them. So that is why we need to have that quiet confidence that I will face them. So integrity, developing a signature style, a style that you will not be caught unawares. Nobody will catch you unawares, whether in terms of your dressing, not that you should overdress, but you are dressed to be that at any point in time, they say we are going somewhere, you will not say, "Hey, I wish I knew I would have dressed properly. I will have dressed." Your properly, that what you call properly should be something that is part of you always. Fellow, doctoral fellow. I give you an example. I have a friend. I still have that friend we are still friends. When we go out, I'll say, Mrs., because I give my friends so many pet names. Let me see. You didn't have anything. He said, "Mama, don't worry. It will stretch." I said, "No, it won't. It won't." And I give you another example. There was this associate of mine when I was in service, because it was, thank God, it's Friday. He came to work like someone that is going to tap palm wine or somebody that was going to the beach, Saturday Groove. And I just met him on the corridor and I said, come, young man." He said, "Ma," I said, "Why are you like this?" "Excuse me, ma, today is Friday, dress down." I said, "And so, supposing something comes up and we say, go drop a message in one, and you get there, they say, yes, what do you want? What image do you want to call?" I said, "Excuse me, today is," I said, "you will go home and change." I said, Home is after Aja, far, 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 far. I said, whether it is Ogun State or wherever, go home. He said, ah, please, man. I said, no, you will go home. You know what he did? In the next 15 minutes, I saw him in jeans and t-shirt. He said, I'm back, man. I said, you know, you didn't go home. So later, he now came back. I said, excuse me, I took jeans from the security that changed from to his uniform and everything. Let people know that you are ever ready. That is a signature style, okay? Then learn to be a leader. It's a skill that anybody can learn. Learn to be ever ready. So what are the 3 pillars of executive presence? Okay, that is managing yourself. What are those pillars of executive presence? Let me see if you have any chat in there that anybody, I'm not hearing, it's not me. Somebody say it's not hearing. Very educative. Thank you. I'm enjoying it. It's very educational and informational. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. I like this communication to connect. Very interesting. Yes. Learn to connect. Thank you. I have low battery. Okay, no problem. So I want to leave. No wahala. Go on. Okay. Thank you so much. Those whose battery as well. So what are those three pillars of executive presence? One, we say gravitas. We don't want to learn Italian or whatever. It is just how you act. Remember when we try to define executive presence, act decisively, how you act. Okay, have that magic touch that when you get to a place, people just, even if you're wearing the cheapest of the Ankara, people will just say, ah, please, this person needs to be part of us. How do you communicate? How do you communicate? You don't need to have the Queen's accent to be, not Queen now, the Queen is gone, the King's accent to be able to talk with people. Remember, communication has 4 legs: speaking, writing, understanding, and what? Comprehension. What you need to understand is comprehension. I remember the 4th one later. But what you need to know is that speaking, the offshoot of speaking is listening. And as reading is the 4th one. And as an executive, somebody that has executive presence, you should learn how to speak and you should learn how to listen. That is why it is said that listening is an intellectual ability. Okay, hearing is a biological function. You need to listen to say that that person is intelligent, was able to digest what I said. But when you say somebody, I cannot hear you, then how do I know? How do you know what I cannot hear me? Do you have a medical? Say I cannot hear. That means you have a medical issue. Okay, so that one will be sorted by medical personnel. But if you say you cannot listen, that means you are not intelligent, you are not intellectual enough to decipher what or break down what I'm talking about. That means you listen, you heard me, then you need to break it down. So that is communication. You need to understand, you need to speak, you need to write, and you need to be able to know what you are communicating about. Writing, reading, understanding, and whatever. So then the 3rd one is how you look. We've talked about that. Don't be caught unawares. So what do you need to do? You need to authentically connect with others in order to motivate and inspire them to a common goal. All of us are on the same boat. We want the organization where we work or where we have set up to be for people to ensure that they work with us and not for us, that they are part of the success story of the organization. So what are those 8 traits of executive presence? 8 traits. Style. You mentioned it earlier. Confidence, charisma, trustworthiness. People say, I trust him. I don't even do that. It's part of what you saw under Joe Harry. Relatability. You know, there are some people, like what the native people normally say, they say, attitude, character is like smoke. You can't cage it. It will find its way out. Some people, when they come in, they are not relatable. They carry themselves as if others around them are just down there. They have an air around themselves. They don't want to relate. They just be, would I say, I don't want to say offish. They just stand there. They just look around and try to pick their friends and not people come and say, join us. Your composure, you should be transparent enough and authentic, conciseness. When you speak, I don't have to go and get a dictionary to understand what you're talking about. Concise. That is what in communication is so called the KISS. Okay, keep it short and simple. People don't have to look at it. So as a leader, as someone with executive presence, you need to know that all what you have written here are things that you can learn. You can learn. Okay, don't be afraid to talk in public. And remember, what I also learned about the Joe Harron window is that people have said that you should hold an ace, a trump card, that don't leave yourself so open out there that people will read everything about you. So there are some things that you put under your armpit. And like what the native people say, like what the elderly, the old man uses in eating agidi is under the leaf. So there is one or two things that you should keep as an executive that will be your trump card, that will be the ace that we use in managing people. Okay, so why is executive presence so important? It plays a major role in your success in the workplace or in life or at home. So what does it do? One, emotional management, your image, your interaction and impression that you have with people in person or online. I tell you, in those days, I don't know whether it still happens, not with the technology that we have now, because you can have a phone that you press something and your voice will be like that of a man, or a computer with all this AI in place. But don't be afraid of AI. It's another discussion entirely. That in those days when we used to do doing nightel and all those things, and when somebody speaks to you on phone, you could feel how happy or how open that person that is talking to you on phone on the other side. But nowadays we can't say that with these our mobile devices. But for whatever it is, you'll be able to know when you see someone, and is this person relatable? And when you talk to somebody on phone, is this person that will waste your time? In those days when we used to manage our credit, say, this man is burning my credit, you quickly stop it. But nowadays you say, let me hear him out. Maybe the best is yet to come. And that is the essence of communication. You don't shut people off because the good thing is yet to come. So what do we do? Ultimately, your executive presence will define your brand, reward you with personal fulfillment that you've done your bit. It's at times because of emotional intelligence, which they say is better than IQ, or more advantageous than IQ. It will earn you your promotion and potential to reach your goals, because people will see you as someone that they want to relate to. So let's quickly look at leadership and executive presence. What is leadership? One thing that we should realize is that your position as a leader is that as a leader. Position allows you to perform your role as a leader. Once they say, even if it's a goat that they put on that seat and they put MD, you must respect that position because that is our leader. Okay? But presence, the difference, you don't have to be a leader. Okay? But once you find yourself as a leader, so many things revolve around that. People jump to conclusion that as a leader and somebody of thought, somebody of that is a fellow or doctoral fellow of the institute, they jump to the conclusion that for you to have a doctoral fellow, your head must be hot. Something was there. So people jump to conclusion immediately. They see you in a particular position or in a with a doctoral fellow or fellow. So they jump to conclusion. It's inferred on you that something good is coming from your tent. So what do we do? People are already concluding this person has a dynamic presence about them. This has a dynamic presence about them that makes me want to follow them. So that means that's the leadership aspect of it. So what you need to do is that you know that performance is simply what you do as a leader. Okay, what you do as a leader. Thank you, Bayo. I'm sorry if I didn't get that right. Okay, I'm trying to see if there's anything that I need to attend to. I said that all the lectures be delivered should be sent to all. Of course, you're going to get the soft copy. You're going to get the soft copy, and the institute will send to you if you give them your email today, tonight, and tomorrow. So performance is what you do. Okay, you and those that you supervise. Presence is who you are, and you can work on it. So profitability is you and those people. Remember, as we said before, you are making people to deliver results. What do you do? Make them deliver results. Focus your energy on making sure that your people add value to the system. Because when they add value, profit is assured. If you are not for profit, but at least surplus is assured. If you are not for surplus, remember, success is assured. So if is your team profitable because of you, or you are the bottleneck? So what do you need to do? You need to look at it, how to define your personal executive presence. What did we say? Personal executive presence. One, you need to have a positive mindset. Remember, we mentioned the self-fulfilling prophecy. Okay. Self-fulfilling prophecy. Thank you. Self-fulfilling prophecy. Bad you are and bad you remain. Don't. See what you said. Two-face. Two-face people that we are so I can see two-face. Do you look beyond the two-face? Do you try to study the two-face? So what do? Consider your habits and your background. There are some people, they say, this is my voice. I took it from my father. It runs in our family. But you carry that voice to the corporate place. People will see you as a lion or lioness. And when they say, the person, the guy has come. He has come with his shouting. Everybody avoids you. Then one day you just see yourself. Because people have always said that the higher you go, the lonelier it gets. Because people will just be avoiding you and say, I don't want to go to a guy. So are you that type of person that they will always say, we don't know whether he woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Which one is the right side of the bed? So what you need to do, one, look at your habits. What are those ones that are not adding value to you or to the system? Two, practice your communication skills, not only speaking, because communication also involves listening. Redirect your focus. If people have been saying it, because it's always said that it's someone that loves you that will tell you that you have body odor or mouth odor. So it's very important when someone mentions it to you, no matter where it's coming from, but the person people need to communicate it in a way that will make you not to feel bad. So what you need to do is redirect your focus. There's none of us that will not say we don't have one good or bad habit that are not adding value to it. So, and when you know that these things are not adding value, what do you do? Like why we are here now. Ask for support. Do you need a mentor? Do you need a coach? Do you need a counselor? Or peer review? These are some of the things that you need to work on. Work on it and you get there. So at times, we need to observe others that are more successful than us. Learn from those you hold in high regard. Use body language well. That is part of communication. Invest in learning tools. Invest in learning. Continuous and never-ending improvement. That is why we are here. Join a group. That is why we are here. Get a coach. That is why we are here. Because by tomorrow, we will be put on our Telegram group and you will be able to relate with people. Things that are happening that you want to ask. Can you help me with this? Can you help me with that? Okay, direct message me and all those type of things. So remember, that is the essence of why we are here. And that is what we are talking about, executive presence. So executive presence started about 2014, about 10 years ago. And people have been working on it. It's part of the leadership thoughts that we've been talking about. So what do you need to do? It started with what? With personal presence. Personal presence. And if you go online, you get this book, Creating Personal Presence. Look, talk, think, and act like a leader. Because the more you act, the more it becomes part of you. Especially when you act well, okay, becomes part of you. So personal presence started it, as I said, is the base, the bottom of the pyramid, the bottom of the triangle. Personal presence, leadership presence, and executive presence. So whatever it is, like emotional intelligence, personal presence can get you whatever you want in the organization or job or whatever. Personal presence also involve your genuine character and relationship of know-how. Know-how. It is not who you are. It is how you are, how you present yourself to others, and how you act. It is not know-how. I know how to do it. I know how to do it. You can be an engineer, but how you are, how you present yourself to people, how you act are some of the things that we need to know in personal presence. How. Not how are you, how you, inside of you. That's part of what we talk about. So in essence, executive presence is the level of your ability to lead a group. We talk about team management tomorrow, and it is measured by their likelihood to follow you, follow your direction, and believe that they have somebody that they can trust. So what do we do? What does it look like? So what do you need to do? You need to build capability. Okay? And what does that look like? Nurture the future. And how do you nurture the future? You nurture the people that will assist you to get there, that will assist you to the organization to get, assist the organization to get to the goals that they have set for themselves. Leadership skill is in everyone. Provide an enabling environment for flexibility and for change. For change is the most constant thing in life. So where does it start? It starts with you looking at me this evening. Where would we get there? In the classroom, like where we have, whether online or physical, in the workplace, wherever you find yourself, whether in public or private sector, then your leadership attitude, behaviors, and qualities will make you to stay ahead of the game, make people to want to be like you, want people to say, yes, there's something in this person that gives me like, let me talk like the Gen Z, that trips me. Okay, so how do you now master executive presence? You see, we talked about personal presence, we talked about leadership, now we're talking about mastering executive presence. The first thing, remember trustworthiness are part of those 8 traits that you said. People must trust you. They must believe in you, that you will lead them to the promised land. And how do you do that? Those people that believe in you, they are your teams, various teams that you lead from the C-suite, from your executive point of view, from being a fellow of the institute, from being a doctoral fellow of this institute. These are teams that you manage, not just one team. So what do you do? Some members of our team do not believe in us. Some members of our team just look at, oh, they can't find themselves staying here for long. They are skeptical about the organization. They don't see themselves staying for long. They want to jack back on the organization. So what do? You, as the leader, with the executive president, with a doctoral fellow, and as a fellow of the institute, you inspire them that the journey is just starting and we are going to succeed together. So that's what you call the universal principle. Remember, we mentioned trust-based relationship. Trust is not a universal principle of what, that there's so many things that if I ask you a question, if I say, what do you mean that you trust him? What do you mean that you trust him? You trust him? Okay, it's honestly, I can't just say, the man is a man of integrity. That woman respects, that woman is honest. She's fair in her dealings. She considers service above self. She's kind and she contributes to whatever we do in positive way. Is that why you trust the person? You say, honestly, I can't place my hand on the throne, but I can place my hand on some of those things. That is why I trust the person. Okay, so it's not a universal principle that trust is more than this, but we decided to bring this out and see that what can you say when you say you trust someone. So let's quickly look at the story and see where trust can lead us. Trust. Trust is a very important factor for all relationships. When trust is broken, it is the end of the relationship. Lack of trust leads to suspicion. Suspicion generates anger. Anger causes enmity. Enmity may result in separation. A telephone operator told me that one day she received a phone call. She answered, Public Utilities Board. There was silence. She repeated, PUB. There was still no answer. When she was going to cut off the line, she heard a lady's voice. Oh, so this is PUB. Sorry, I got the number from my husband's pocket, but I do not know whose number it is. Without mutual trust, just imagine what will happen to the couple if the telephone operator answered just hello instead of PUB. Whether it's a couple or a work team, connected people trust each other. Trust is the glue that holds people together through good times and bad times. Before we end, let me see the questions that I have in the chat box or observations or whatever. Okay, thank you. 19, very interesting, very interesting. Well done, man. Okay, okay. Daily routine, nice one. Thank you, thank you. Let me see whether the question. Thank you is what I get. Thank you, well done. Thank you, well done too. Volume is not me, it's you. Okay, you have volume. Okay, volume. Okay, so nothing, no question like that. We are going to get the questions tomorrow. Those who will be online can, so they can type, but those who are physical can also type. So before we end, remember what? Okay, remember. Let's remember that you are different. Why are you different? That's why we brought you out from the general session of tomorrow, because you're a fellow and doctoral fellow. Out of the green, you stand out as a fellow, as a doctoral fellow. Because you are different, you make the difference. And the difference is you. Did you get that? Because you are different, you make the difference, and the difference is you. You that you are looking at me this evening. Be that red in the midst of it all. Be that leader. Be that person with executive presence. For you get successful, you become successful when you relate with people. Success and people are usually tied together. Okay? As I said before, you don't need more than 4 levels to get to that person that will help you or make you in life. So everyone who succeeds does so through relationship with people. Nothing in this world was ever created, built, produced, amassed, fostered, distributed, or utilized without the support of other people. We succeed together. Okay? So that is why my cousin, you wonder why is my cousin is the first Black man in the White House. My cousin said, overall, people must trust you. They must have faith in you. They must believe in you. So you lead by making others powerful. So you need to share the power and recognition. And that is why we're going to talk about engagement and empowerment tomorrow. So what do we want to get? I'm sure some people will not be happy with me what I'm going to say with this slide. This is the OK code. Some of us remember February is not too far back. That 14th of February, when of course we talk of love, Valentine's Day. Remember that song of Teddy Pendergrass? It's so good loving somebody and somebody loves you back. To be loved. Da, 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 da. It's not, I don't want to sing it up before somebody will go and tell Oga, you didn't sing that song for me. Or somebody will hold madam. So at a point, that song, Teddy Pendergrass said, is it 50-50? Is it 60-40? Okay. Or is it 30-70? What do you want? I'm okay. If you're okay with 70, I'm okay with 30. We are both okay. You're okay, I'm okay. But the equation should not be, I'm okay and you are not okay. Executive presence. You should not be, you are okay and I'm not okay. Or I'm not okay, then you are not okay. Where we want to find ourselves is you are okay and I'm okay. If it is 60-40, if I'm happy with 40, go away with your 60. I'm good. And at the end of it all, let me use my 40 better than you with your 60. So what do we need to do? Get to that point where we get, I'm okay, you are okay. And we commit to what? Win-win. Commit to create a winning relationship, recognizing and rewarding excellence. We are going to talk about when we talk of talent management tomorrow. Care for your people and they will care about the job. And care plus respect will make them to be stable. Okay? You have more retention on the job than they that will japa on you. So create a win-win situation and we get there. So what do you want to do? You need to manage people. Manage people. We are going to talk about people management tomorrow. So in order to succeed, the executive that will succeed in their organization, focus on what? On people. People now becomes an acronym for what? Professionalism. That is why you are here. Empathy. That is why you're learning about executive presence. Put yourself in other people's shoes. Be an optimist. Okay? Partner with people. Be loyal to the cause that we all believe in. Engage and empower them. Because when you engage people, you make them more powerful. So use the people acronym. Or you may, which is shorter, want to use the fish model. Feel for others. Involve others. Okay? You can't just be the thinker and the doer and everything. Speak to and see others' point of view. Hear them out. That is the fish model. Is a shortened version or shorter version of the people model. Why? Why are we talking about managing people? Because the rich also cry. The rich also cry. The blood that runs in you is the blood that runs in them. So care for the people and they will care for the job and they will stay longer on the job than what you expect. Even when it rains, they will still find their way to the office to be able to be there. Not because of the office, but because my guy is good. So as we leave, okay, we need to develop a new mindset. So you need to see your people grow. You need to empower them or else they will japa. Watch them grow or see them go. I tell people that, oh, you are going. So, you know, the younger generation, the Gen Zs, and say, why should I stay 35 years in service or 60 years of age before I go? And I tell them, I say, Rolling Stone gathered one of us. I say, I'll continue rolling. Mama, leave me. I cannot stay 35 years. I cannot stay 60. 60. I will be useless to myself. But what you need to do is see them grow so that all of us will have the dream achieved together. So what do you need to do? You need to train, you need to mentor, you need to counsel them. You also need to coach them in order to close the identified performance skills gap. They will be able to be there for you. Then they will now stay. You retain them for business success. So training is very important. Mentoring is very important. Counseling and coaching are also important because they cannot do it by themselves. So what do you need to do with your executive presence? Stand up to be seen. Talk to be heard. Sit to be noticed. So that by the time you finish talking, the ovation is still, and they're still looking at that direction. See, nodding their head that you have done well. These are the essence of executive presence. For life isn't about finding yourself. Life is about creating and recreating yourself. The context changes. So you need to change the content. Remove the excess luggage and you will get there. Those things that are not adding value to your life. But we need to reinvent ourselves. Okay, by focusing what is around us, on what is around us, and learning to capture the essence so that we will be able to transfer new skills to the Gen Zs, Alpha generation, or whatever generation that is coming after, because we need to show a better way by example, executive presence. They are watching us. So it is time for a new generation of leadership to cope with new problems and new opportunities, but there's a new world to be won. That was said by J.F. Kennedy, the assassinated president of the United States in the 60s. So in conclusion, what most people, executives and whoever that is in a place of authority, what we have realized that it doesn't have to be that you have a first degree, no, not first degree, first class or first class upper. I always laugh at them. Those who say I know too much. Okay, first class upper or 2-1 or whatever. Most employers have realized that 70% of employees report that they do not have mastery of the skills needed to do their job. So who will lead them when we exit the system? So we need to make them to be job ready so that when the work begins, all of us are there together driving the results. So what do we need to do? In executive presence, first impression is a lasting impression. At times you may not have, okay? At times you may not have. I'm trying to see if there's any question that I quickly attend to. Okay, so at times you may not have a second chance, not like that film that we watch in the early 20s, Salvero or whatever, where they deceived us of second chance, somebody's spirit getting into another. You remember, you may never have a second opportunity to change that impression. That should stick to us with the example of the 1 minute elevator opportunity. You'll be wanting to meet Dangote, and somehow he entered the lift you were in. He said, oh, I've been wanting to. They said, tell me about yourself. Because you're on the ground floor, first floor, and he's going to exit at the second floor. 1 minute, that it may not even be 1 minute. You cannot want to follow him and run after him. Tell him about yourself. 1 minute elevator. Don't let the chance pass you by. Be ready, like the scout, ever ready, and you get some of those things you want in life. So question time, I want to ask, are you wired with what we have said to connect? Are you wired? If you are, give me a thumbs up that you are ready and you are leaving this place with a new mindset as an executive, okay? You are going to have the recording and whatever from the secretariat, okay? You're going to have that. Emotional intelligence is a big gamut on its own, but we will try to explain it when we are done. So if you are ready to, we are wired to connect, give me a thumbs up. Yes. More, double thumbs up. Yes, we are ready. Okay, somebody said something about KPI. Let me see. Oof. Are KPIs an effective tools in measuring leadership qualities of workers in a workplace? KPIs, yes, for you and for your people. If you give them KPIs, you should also have KPIs that you will use in measuring how successful they are, that is affecting your own performance in the workplace. Okay, one thing that we should know is that in some organization, it's not only that you will measure your associates' performance, they will also give their own opinion of who you are and how you are related with them. Okay, because I remember one of my friends, she was in one organization, she has assessed all her people, or she performance, what do you call it now, APA, performance evaluation or whatever, what you always say, use performance management. She did everything, did the assessment, performance appraisal. Yeah, performance appraisal. She appraised them and everything. At the end of it all, the table now turned. The organization was adopting that method, whether the 360 or whatever. People that worked with her, whether in-house or all stakeholders, they had to give their opinion. And that was what brought her down. She didn't get the promotion that year. And she felt bad, very bad. So it's not in all situations that you feel that, oh, I've assessed them, I've appraised them and all those things. Remember, their KPI can also affect yours. So we need to look at it from 2 points of view. So thank you for those who have responded. You are wired to connect because your okay, I'm trying to see if there are any other questions. Your performance may be judged by what other people do to help you get there. So thank you to say that you are wired to connect. Okay, even if you are going to use Bluetooth, just connect with your people. So, and you become relevant. So once you are wired to connect, remember this. Be kind. For everyone you meet is carrying a heavy load. So it's not only you. So heavy load, everybody. is carrying. So what do you need to do? In conclusion, are you ready? Ready for what? Ready to ensure that your organization succeed. Don't sink the boat. What you need to do is swim along with them so that all of us with the organization and stakeholders will be set up for success. People have said that civil service is nothing but civil service that they just push file here and there. But without the public service, the organization will not move. So we need one another and we need each other. The organized private sector and the public sector to get there, to move the job of HR forward and to move the organization forward and to move Nigeria forward. For the race is known by those who are prepared. And for us to be prepared, and we need to predict the future. The best way to predict the future is to do what? Invest in it. And that is what we are doing this night. So that this laurel will be for us all to win. The best way to predict the future is invest in it. And that investment is what we are doing this night. So executive presence starts from what? From your personal presence, and it goes to leadership presence. So I want us to listen to this, because all what you have said will not germinate if we are not going to take action. And this bamboo tree will give us a lesson in life on what we should do. So listen. Perseverance. You see that is perseverance. With executive presence, you cannot do otherwise. You can do as much so that all of us we succeed together and all of us we get the organization to where we want it to be. We get this nation to where we want it to be with HR, and you'll be there. One thing I always tell people, and I'm still going to say that tomorrow, is that HR is like a vehicle. Everybody come inside, but you need L&D as the mechanic to put them back in shape. So what do you need to do as an executive with executive presence? Know the culture, know the structure, and know the people that will deliver results. Because without results, we have not done anything. Thank you for listening. And if you have any question, we will take, let me see what the time is, just a few, about 10 o'clock. If not, we take that tomorrow. Okay. Somebody says, I have seen leaders who come across as arrogant and others who are too self-effacing. And how can one strike the balance and demonstrate executive presence without appearing pompous or too weak? You see, as I said before, you are dealing with people. The context will change, but it is up to you to know what you need to use within that context. I'm not trying to proclaim situational leadership, because in management, we always say one size does not fit all. One size does not fit all. So you need to manage them according to what you see. So L&D is learning, training, learning, and development. Okay, learning and development. It's that's the latest way of talking about training. So it's not only training, because people have said that training is a one-off thing, but learning and development is what is a lifelong thing, lifelong. So what you need to do is know that one size does not fit all. You cannot say, what do I do? At times, you want to say, I want to be the lion, and I'm going to be that. Okay? Let's take an example where an employee is not up to it and is robbing off others. Won't you join that individual than for that individual to do what? To spoil the rest of the team. So you cannot say, I'm coming too hard, I'm coming too soft or weak. It's up to you. Remember, the context will change. So you need to manage the content of what you use for that context. So thank you so much. I appreciate you. These are the type of people that if you are not in sync with your organization, you see that others, your followers will see who you are and they follow suit. They may give out the trade secret of the organization because they have no commitment. Okay. But what realize motivation go along? I don't understand this. So along with the way to put people through in life. I don't understand the question. That's Abdul Aminu. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe you bring it out well tomorrow. We're talking about motivation, but I don't understand the question. But what realize? Don't know. I don't understand the question. I'm sorry. So thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow by God's grace. So what do we do? Question. We are just a minute after 10. Okay. Then the materials you will get, as I said, once you drop your email, they send the materials to you. You're the one of tomorrow that we meet by God's grace. Okay, thank you all.